Hello, and welcome to a live walkthrough of a Feedback Genius account with Mr. Chad Rubin from Skubana. Hey, Chad, how are you?
Hey Jeff, thanks for having me, and hello everyone that's watching.
Today we're going to kind of follow up on a couple of other Facebook lives that we've done, where we really started this about a year ago, right?
hmm
Really diving into your account, live in front of everybody, showing what's working, what's not working, what recommendations we have. And, what we'll do is we'll link below for people that want to follow and see kind of where you were a year ago. Because, when we were preparing for this, I started sharing things with you, and you kept saying, well, what all do I need to do? And I kept saying, man, your account looks great. And I think it's a testament to the work that you've done. So I think one of the things I'd love you to speak about at the beginning is, how much work have you guys done to put into this? And have you been happy with kind of the results you've been seeing so far?
So, first of all, things are changing so rapidly when it comes to messaging on Amazon. So that's why I'm constantly asking you for feedback. I'm constantly asking you to audit our account, which is why we do this publicly. We have put a lot of time in, but that's actually because of the suggestions you've made to me on the last call, where I think there was a lot of room for improvement. So now I'm at a point, I think it's been, like you said, a year, where we're like, okay, what's best practices? What are the new things that have happened? Where are areas that we can improve? Because we have a lot of private label product, about 1,000, which is probably a lot more than a lot of other clients may have on the private label scene. And we probably can't get as honed in as focused as some of your other custom clients on the platform. So if you have any feedback of ways that we can improve, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I'll say makes you different is that you realize that this business is not a stagnant business. You can't set it and forget it. You love to create processes and then have your team kind of implement those processes. And I think one of the things that we really try to reiterate with people about a tool like Feedback Genius is that the way you did it 6 months ago is different than the way it was done a year ago. And if you haven't looked at your messages in a while, this is kind of your change the batteries in the smoke detector type of moment, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
your opportunity to really take a look and see. And so again, I can talk about some of the things we've done in the past to improve your account. But what I want to do is kind of show you some of the things we've done to Feedback Genius, and then also kind of provide you some feedback and some tips on what we see within your account. So you ready to
Cool.
go?
Yes, and full disclosure, I have not logged in here in a very long time, so I may be surprised. Maybe we're rocking and rolling, but I'd love to hear your take. And I'm going to take this back to my team, and we'll implement whatever you suggest.
Yeah, and typically I think you just have your team come in and implement the things, and then after another few months, you just say, "Hey, do I need another round? Do I need another round?" Right?
Yeah.
So Chad's round becomes everybody's round, and that's what I appreciate. So this is the new dashboard on Feedback Genius. We implemented this a few months back, trying to make things kind of really upfront. So if you have multiple marketplaces, you can drop down and see them. If you want to see different day views, last month, last week, last year, last 30 days is the default. We're jumping right into here and seeing the number of messages you've sent, and we can go into those, the number of feedbacks that you're receiving, and the number of reviews that you're receiving. And so, most of the products you're selling are private label, so feedback isn't as critical to you. You're focused more on reviews, but you do get a lot of sellers who just leave reviews or leave feedback and don't leave reviews. We also, make it really easy for you to see here number of active messages, your total number of orders, your open rate, and your unsubscribe rate. You notice that your unsubscribe rate is now 0, right?
Yep.
So we used to be able to track unsubscribe because people would unsubscribe from an email and we would stop sending them that. As of April 1st of this year, Amazon has had us remove all of the unsubscribed links from our email because they want everybody going through the Amazon unsubscribe link. Now, there's two schools of thought to that. One is you don't have that visibility into the unsubscribes anymore. But the other is that, buyers never had the opportunity to unsubscribe from third-party messages on Amazon. So that whole system is only new as of 9 months ago. So it was only a natural progression for Amazon to remove the unsubscribe from us. Technically, an unsubscribe link was a link to an external website because we had to bring them to a site to capture the unsubscribe. So Amazon wanted that removed from all of our emails, so we pulled that out of all of our emails at their request.
Can you check the opt-outs though from
Amazon today does not provide any type of exposure to anybody and to the number of opt-outs that occur. We are looking at ways to kind of calculate those based on bounced messages that are coming to your account.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of this dashboard, while we're on it, I don't know if you're going to continue going further. I'm curious about the review rate. So if you take the amount of reviews divided by the orders
at
the top, if you can scroll back up, is that a good number, not a good number, healthy number, not a healthy number? Is there any way we can improve that? Because obviously I really care about reviews.
Yeah. So, in terms of messages sent, the percentage is a little bit deceptive because all of your messages that you're sending are not getting through. So it's not necessarily a true review rate to just take 529 and divide it by 21,000. You'd be at right around 4%, a little bit less than 4%. And what we recommend what we're recommending for sellers is that they kind of set their own baseline and they use that baseline to kind of figure out how they can move forward, right? And so what we want to do is we want to look at the last 30 days, maybe versus the last 60 days, maybe the last 90 days, and see, are your reviews getting better or worse? The big number you want to focus on is open rate, because if your open rate is good, that really kind of, in my mind, is a better indication of the number of reviews that are being received. So if you look at your open rate, you've had 1,800 messages open and 529 reviews received. That's a really good high percentage. That's why we always are telling people that what they want to focus on is getting more and more messages opened, so that you can start delivering the value. That number in my mind doesn't surprise me because I think you have very well-written messages. You're bringing your brand into your message, and you have something a little funny that I'm not going to share with people until we show them some of your messages that I think just are kind of part of today's culture, and get people's attention a little bit more. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the one thing that I noticed, I'm going to jump into your messages. The one thing that I noticed in your messages, so you see that we come up with 65 messages. The first thing we want to do is we want to do some filtering. So we're only going to look at active messages. That brings us down to your 18 messages, which are active. We could start tagging all of these messages, but you only have 18, so it's not that big of a deal. But the one thing you want to capture is kind of your other products. And so you're bringing in a lot of new products all the time. And what has to happen is, let's go into your aromatherapy message. Your team has to come in here. We'll come back to this page in a minute. And they have to add more ASINs onto this page. So if your team is not keeping up with this, there are ASINs that may get missed in what they're doing. And so the recommendation that I have is that you have kind of this catch-all message that would be not specific to a particular ASIN. Most all of the messages in here right now are tied specifically to an ASIN. So having one message that's going out 2 days after delivery that's kind of capturing anybody else who is not who any other product that was accidentally missed by your team during the process. So that would be my recommendation. That's one of the few recommendations I had, because I thought your account was actually pretty dialed in.
I thought we had a catch-all email so that we have some specific ASIN emails.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't open up every single one of them. I'm going to point this out just because I've come here twice. You notice Chad's using jiffies within his messages to kind of capture people's attention. And he's using them in line with the text, right? So it says, I don't know about you, but I'm waiting for a package. Sometimes I get caught at the door looking like this, right? And he's using a jiffy. And if I roll through all of his other messages, he has this kind of one-liner that's tied into a nice jiffy that kind of gets people's attention. For people that have been following us, Chad's messages before didn't have a lot of brand. They didn't have a lot of personality written to them. And so all of these messages have now been rewritten. They all have a personal message from the CEO who's talking about how he's thankful. Chad's doing a good job of using bold because we as humans don't like to read. We like to scan. So if I just scan the bolded text, I get the message of what you're trying to do. He's being very open in how he's asking for a review. So he's moved away from the language in some of your older emails that were saying, like, if this is positive, leave me a review. If this is negative, contact my customer service. And he's going straight to, I want to hear your thoughts. Can you do it right here? You can do it right here. Tell me what you think. So you're being very open. You're asking for positive. You're asking for negative. You're just asking for the experience. But you're also saying, hey, if you have any questions or concerns or just want to chat, let me know. One of these, I don't remember which one it is, but you basically tell people, I think it's in one of your warranty emails, you tell people that they get a high five, and you guys like to give really good high fives. So we'll do virtual high five. So what people need to take away from this part of the messaging is that Chad brought personality. He brought some value into this. He's talking to his customers, and he's asking them in a way that is not only soliciting good reviews, but it's just soliciting reviews in general. And so,
do you think that I should actually try to hone in on good reviews versus soliciting a review?
Yeah. So, Amazon has made it very clear in some of their updates over the last couple of months that they want messages to be agnostic in how they're asking for information. So I think you're doing this the way sellers should be doing this today. You're connecting with them. You're giving them a little bit of something. You're catching their attention, and you're asking them to do something for you. The other thing that you're doing that I think is in line with what Amazon wants is you're only averaging, I think, 1.1 or 1.2 messages per order. So you're not over messaging your customers. And that's a trend that a lot of sellers were doing that we've recommended they move away from, and moving more to a single message per order type of communication. Because, if we look at like your coffee business, there's an opportunity within your coffee business to kind of connect with somebody a little bit deeper, because, sellers or consumers of coffee are let's look at one of your coffee messages. Consumers of coffee are typically passionate about what they do. So what you can start to look at is doing some A/B testing. It's one of the other recommendations if your team wanted to do more. I would probably focus your A/B testing on your subject line, giving you the opportunity to see if a different subject line creates more opens.
And then you also said that we should have more ASIN-specific email messaging, right?
Yeah, I mean, the more ASIN-specific messaging that you have, like here's an example. This is coffee. It's a pour over coffee unit, one of your coffee units. But you're in here saying that CEO of Think Crucial and Crucial Vacuum. I just ordered coffee, so I don't know that I really know what Crucial Vacuum is. And I might want to take Crucial Vacuum out of this email and just have this email be focused on Think Crucial, which is the brand of the pour over coffee that they just bought. And again, you're kind of playing off of this. If you wanted to, you could add a PS under your Think Crucial logo, and you could give your tips to a perfect pour over,
like a downloadable file.
Possibly a downloadable file, or you could just put the text right in here. Yeah, okay. Either which way. But when you're looking at like a vacuum filter part, there's only so much excitement that I have.
Yeah, me too.
When I'm looking at coffee, I'm much more passionate about the type of coffee that I drink, the way that I drink my coffee. And so I'm probably willing to ingest a little bit more content to understand how your product works and how I can use your product to get the best user experience.
Yep.
Right. For my vacuum bag or for my vacuum filter, it's a little bit more, I'll call it generic, but it's, maybe there's a certain way that you have to install that and you want to share installation instructions. But I mean, come on, it's a vacuum filter and it's awesome.
Giphy's always add that extra accent, I think, when you're talking about like a commoditized product.
Yeah. And you've got some good ones tied in nicely to your content, right?
Yep.
That's the critical piece of this. So I'm going to show you a couple of other things. If you wanted to, you could come into these advanced filters. So the pour over is not a great example of this, but if you have some products that may be repurchased, not necessarily subscription based, but where people are starting to buy them over and over again. So what I would recommend is that if you have some of those products, so the easiest way is for you to look for repeat buyers. If you notice that you're getting a lot of repeat buyers, you can actually set up messaging sequences so that they get a different message from you the second, the third, or the fourth time they've purchased that from you. It's definitely not something I would have recommended the first or the second audit that we've done, but now that you've kind of honed in your order, your messages, it's something for you to think about. In addition, if you're getting a lot of B2B orders or B2C orders, you can have different types of messaging. So let's say you had like some type of K-Cups and you notice that a lot of B2B companies are buying your K-Cups. You could have different messaging right here by saying, I only want this messaging to go to people from the business side, and I want this messaging for people to go from the B2C side.
Yep. Have you seen any cool B2B messaging for those that are trying to get larger bulk orders from the B2B shoppers?
So remember the tips that I have for that is that remember that typically the type of person who's purchasing at that point is more of a purchasing agent than it is a typical consumer. So they're probably looking more for how to best use your product in an office type of environment, or ease of purchasing, or ease of use, or ease of clean, because they're a purchasing agent. The other thing is we've got the filter turned on for all of your emails around initiated a return. So if anybody has returned your product, we stop the messages from going to them. Most of your messages are going within 2 days. So the return has probably not occurred that fast, but you don't want to message somebody if you know they're already returning a product. And we have some more information here under this section if you wanted to get into the A/B testing. I would look for testing messages around some of your higher volume products. You've got, over 1,000 products, as you mentioned. And, you don't want to, be setting up test messages for every SKU that you have.
Okay.
So I think the recommendations on here is if you have repeat orders, you want to use this section where you can set up messages for repeat orders. If you want to do A/B testing, you can come here. You can read more. I think we have a little video that walks you through that.
So essentially, this would be the first. If it's a first-time buyer, I would send them this message, and then I can actually activate second time, third time, fourth time, and make it more fun, and even encourage them to maybe buy more. Any other ideas on messaging?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about what to stay away from. Oh, bless you. See, you're outside. You're getting yourself all the
I have
pollen.
allergies.
I'll talk about more about what to stay away from. So you can encourage them to buy more, but you can't offer them if you're asking them for a review, don't offer a coupon.
Okay.
Right. You're really not supposed to use messaging for any type of marketing or promotional purpose. So you really want to keep that. You really want to keep it focused on it being a transactional type of email and not a promotional one.
So no coupon code on the second purchase.
I don't recommend it.
Okay.
But I also recommend that you acknowledge that they've bought from you before. Yep. Right? Like,
give them a virtual high five. I recognize you. Throw a Giphy in there.
Right. Even so, I mean, think about it. Somebody who's ordered from you 3 or 4 times, that's an all-star customer. You can just call them out for being that. Maybe that little maybe your title on your subject line is, you're a Think Crucial VIP customer, and then they're going to open that up. And when they open it up, you're going to say, thank you for making multiple purchases. Your opinion really matters to us. And just the fact that you acknowledge them for making multiple purchases is going to get their attention. And that that the likelihood of you getting a better review is going to increase from somebody who's bought your product more than once.
Totally.
Yeah. So some of the language that you want to avoid, we've really kind of moved away from a lot of the messaging called if-then statements. We have a library of templates that you can use. You can see all of our new ones are here. So if you're not super creative like Chad, and you don't really know how to rewrite your messages, the thing that I want to kind of tell people is, understand that these were written as templates. So notice in here, it says brand name. You have to actually fill these out. These are, for lack of a better term, these are like Mad Libs, right? You have to go in here and you have to fill these out. If you just apply it, you're going to look stupid. No, there's no other way to put it. Because these are like this example right here is a statement of, your brand promise. So you have to understand what your brand promise is. And if you want to leave it in there, you can leave it in there. But, this is that a lot of people say to us, like, what's the message that works the best? The message that works the best is the individual messages that people write. So it's hard from an aggregated perspective to say this is the message that works the best, because if everyone that's doing the customization, there is no single message that works. So what we tried to do with some of our newest message templates that we provided was really give people an experience where they can kind of understand what a good email should sound like, and then they can make the changes that they need to make that template work for them.
And how did you get to this template area? I didn't know you had templates.
So if you come into, I'm on messages, okay. And you go to new message, you have the choice of copying an existing message. So if I want to use one that I already have, starting from scratch, or viewing the library of our templates. We also filter our templates by goal and by event.
Did you write these? Is this your copy?
Yeah. So we actually worked with Karen Thraxton. Are you familiar with Karen from Marketing Words?
No.
Yeah. So she works with a lot of sellers and helps them write kind of individual emails. And so we kind of worked with her to write like some best of the best copy to integrate into our site.
Awesome.
Yeah. So all of these messages are, compliant with Amazon's terms of service as of the end of March, when we updated all of these templates. We try to keep these templates updated as Amazon's terms of service continually evolves. So it doesn't necessarily change, but it does evolve. The best way that I kind of explained it was that Amazon's terms of service is kind of like, driving down the highway. There's a speed limit. The speed limit's always been 65 miles an hour. But when you see a cop on the road, what do? You kind of tap the brakes and you slow down from 85 to 70. But if you don't think there's anybody policing you, you speed really quickly. That's what's happened with a lot of people on the Amazon platform with buyer seller messaging is there haven't been a lot of cops on the highway, and so they've just been kind of driving whatever speed limit they want. What we're seeing is that Amazon is policing their terms of service on a more regular basis. And therefore, it's best for sellers to kind of follow the best practices and follow the terms of service as they're written, so that, you know, everybody is remaining compliant.
Great.
Yeah. So let's see. Any other questions? I'm just going through my notes here.
How about reviews? So I saw in the front that you can actually manage the reviews. Like what kind of data do you have on the reviews?
Yeah. So this is your review. This is your review section. You can come into products. Let's start here. This is your product section. This is where you decide which products you want to monitor. Yep. We have you monitoring all of your products. We also give you the ability to create a short name. And this was one of the updates we made on your account about a year ago, which, you know, when you're writing an email to somebody, you don't want to say that it's the 2 HEPA filter for Hoover C2401 commercial. And, you know, like that was all in your email. And so we kind of changed it to the Hoover HEPA filter, the Shark Navigator vacuum filter. Makes the emails read a lot better. We're also tracking them. Therefore, when the reviews come in, we're syncing the reviews. We're showing you right here. And you can go right to Amazon to comment or dig into more information.
But I can't see who wrote that one, right? I can't see who.
No, somebody wrote a blog post on how to connect reviews to reviewers. I don't know. I don't remember who it was. But once that blog post was written, Amazon cut out a lot of the ability to do that. So Amazon has removed a lot of the way. Amazon doesn't want you connecting to a reviewer, asking them to change the review, right? So that's the intent of what Amazon does and doesn't want. So it's not hard for you to understand that somebody bought your Shark floor nozzle. They left you a 3-star review, and they purchased it at a certain particular time. For you to possibly find ways to find out who that person is and offer customer service. But the ability to tie these directly into a buyer review match, which, you know, we used to have a year ago, has become a lot harder to do. Okay. Yeah. So Mark was saying that he only has 2 products that he can track. So you do get 2 products with your base subscription. Underneath, and I'm not going to go there because it has some of your more critical information, but underneath your name in the upper right-hand corner, you can purchase additional review packs to monitor additional reviews.
Anything else? So do you constantly import new products in from the channel? Because I think it's been a while since I've had my team go in here, and I know it exactly, and I'll share with with everyone here what I'm going to have my team do after this meeting. But are you constantly importing new products in?
Yeah, so we're constantly syncing your products. The product syncs occur on a regular basis. I actually went through your whole account last night and made sure that everything was tracking as I was kind of preparing for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you think is necessary to point out?
No, I'd love to hear kind of what you think is kind of your next steps.
All right, so my next steps is I'm going to take this exact video. I'm going to download it from Facebook. I'm going to throw it on Dropbox. And I'm going to give it to a VA that I have on the team. And I'm going to, at least right now, we have some new products that we just launched. And as part of our launch sequence, I'd like to get more reviews, obviously, for those that are buying those products. So I want to create more individualized emails for certain ASINs I want to get more reviews for. Instead of putting them into the capture all email that we have that goes out, right? Just more specialized, individualistic emails going out for specific ASINs.
Yeah, and that's something that we talk to, you know, people that have large catalogs. Like, this is a good chance for you to do like a child by parent ASIN report in your business reports. Look at your higher volume sessions, your higher volume sales products, and make sure that those are the ones you're writing individual messages for as they pick up their velocity.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I like the idea of putting a PS in the email as well. I think people always look at PSs. And so maybe putting a few bullets for a PS with some value, so that I'm dropping value and I'm asking for something. I think that would be great to have them do as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a great one, and can, you know, lead people to reading a little bit further, and you know, again, it goes back to, and I know this is something you believe in, because it's something you and I have talked at great length about. It's about giving value, and if you give value, you get in return, you'll get something back in return. It's not going to happen with every message that you send, but it does happen over time.
I completely concur.
Awesome. No reason to drag this out.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you in Chicago. Now I'm going to time this video. I'll be seeing Chad in about the first week of June in Chicago at the IRCE conference. I know Skubana will be there and have a booth. Seller Labs will be there and have a booth. So I'll give a shout out for both of us that if you're at the show, come by, let us know you watched the video. Chad always has really cool swag. Are you going to give us a preview? Or
we're going to have a very interesting giveaway. It's not even swag. It is knowledge, and wait till you see it.
Awesome. I can tell you that you guys, was it the first year you guys did the fedoras?
We did, yeah. So 2015, we did Skubana fedoras. You know, Skubana.
Yeah, and I swear those were everywhere. Everywhere all over the show floor were people were wearing them.
Yeah, we got in a little trouble for giving them out to the bartenders. So they almost came across like they were sponsoring Skubana. That was a big no-no.
So I'll tell you that Chad and I will probably go live from IRCE. We like to do that sometimes when we go to shows. So keep a lookout for that. And we'll just kind of wrap on that. Sound good?
Yeah. Are you coming to the VIP reception? I know we're sponsoring this VIP reception for sellers.
Yeah, we can put a link to it in the comments through Rise 25, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. That'll be on Tuesday night, and it's targeting sellers doing $1 million or more. Is that a good way to kind of describe it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll put a little link to that as well. And thanks everybody. If you have any questions about emails or messaging your customers, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and we'll keep an eye on things. Everybody, have a great day.
Jeff, thank you.